Right, hello. We're back on YouTube. It's been a while since I've been on here, and this is a spontaneous one. I put a question box on my Instagram stories this morning, and surprisingly, I've actually got a couple questions. And because I'm so terrible in condensing my thoughts down into a 60-second Instagram story, I thought, why not do it on YouTube? Long form. I talk slowly sometimes. Suits me a little bit better. Am I back? I don't know. I don't want to make promises I can't keep. I'm not very good at filming YouTube videos. I don't particularly like getting the camera up, particularly when I'm in the gym. It was suggested to me that I should film a session and answer some of these questions in between sets, but I just can't be bothered to fanny on with a camera in between sets. I like to get into the gym. I like to quietly get on with my session, keep myself to myself, and I don't particularly like things that take me out of the session mentally. So you've just got me at home, and we're going to fire through these questions on here. Some of them are pretty good, some of them are less good, but we're going to answer all of them. And we'll start with this one from Mr. Hayden Woodcock. What is your least favorite pose to hit from a visual standpoint and from a skill standpoint? My least favorite pose to hit is gotta be a side relaxed. From both, actually, from a visual point and a standpoint. One, it looks fucking shit. And two, it's very uncomfortable and I don't like hitting it. That's the thing with your relaxed poses, with your quarter turns. They're all subtle poses. It's not an obvious pose like a front double bicep where you're obviously squeezing your biceps or something like that. You know, your hands on your waist, you're trying to float your arms in a particular position while still trying to make your lats and your chest and your shoulders look good. You can't brute force your way into a good quarter turn. You have to exercise a degree of finesse, which for whatever reason within that pose, although I do practice it every day, I still struggle with, and I look fucking terrible in them. So both of those would be my side relaxed. Maybe go into a little bit more depth. I think my back double bicep is the one. It's not my least favorite to hit from a skill standpoint. It's probably my best pose, but it's the one that I have to think about the most, other than the side relax. The one I have to think about the most as I'm setting it up, and it takes me the longest to get into. So kind of like a double answer for that. Another one from Hayden. Are you excited for post-show food with Hayden? All you can eat sushi, me and you, we're going to do some fucking damage. That's for sure. This is a very good one here. What's it like being on prep with your girlfriend at the same time? I'm probably not best placed to really give that good of an answer on that one. Me and my other half, in all the time that we've been together, I could probably count on my hands how many times we've had an off-plan meal together. We're both we're like very focused bodybuilding couple. So for the most part, nothing's really changed between prep and off season for us. The only thing that has been different from off seasoning together is the lack of energy, really. And that, at the moment, that's more on her part because she is a week out and I'm 11 weeks out. But there will come a time when she is post-prep and I'm a week out, and I will be the one with no energy and no patience. So other couples might give you a different answer, but with me and her, nothing's really changed. So I'm probably not best placed to really give the best answer on that. It's sound, I guess. Would you rather be blind or paralyzed from the waist down? Great Great question. Thanks. Thanks, Josh. I would rather be paralyzed from the waist down because I think I'd make a kick-ass wheelchair bodybuilder. Just any excuse to just train up a body. Bosh. All right, next one. What are your expectations and aspirations for the debut season? To not come last. No, my expectations is probably a little bit pessimistic. My aspirations, I'm doing 2 very big shows, right? And they will be deep lineups. I already know a number of people competing in those shows who are very good or very well known. So if I can make it within top 8, top 10 within those shows in my debut season at 23 years old, I'll be very fucking happy. But more than anything, I'm not motivated too much by placings right now. My aspirations are to deliver a look to stage that is reflective of a professional bodybuilder. If I get to stage and I look like a pro and I don't look like an amateur and I fit in on that stage and I am competitive with people who've been doing it 10, 15, 20 years longer than me, then fucking fantastic. Like, I would be so happy with that. If I can deliver a look to stage where other pros can look at it and go, yeah, you know, he looks fucking great. He's one of us. He's a pro. And yeah, just to look like I belong. You know, this is only actually my second prep. This is only my second competitive season. So to be in, you know, saying that at all still blows my mind. But yeah, my aspirations aren't really tied to a number or a placing. It's just, do I look like I belong and am I competitive? And most of all, am I delivering a look that I'm happy with? I can look at that and go, fuck yeah, that's cool. So that's that. My expectations, probably, like I said, a little bit pessimistic, but hey, it's hard to be disappointed. Next one. How do you find dealing with food noise versus hunger in late prep? Food noise versus hunger in late prep. Not quite sure what you mean, food noise versus hunger. I would suppose they're kind of the same thing. How do I find dealing with it? Difficult to say because, like I said in the previous question, I've only done one prep. Now, prior to that, I did a photo shoot prep where I got to within, I don't know, maybe about 4 to 6 weeks out kind of condition. And of course, by the end of that, I was pretty fucking hungry. So I really only have 2 proper experiences of being properly hungry and being properly lean and on genuine low food. And I don't think I dealt with them too well. My first competition prep, my Instagram Explore feed was horrendous. It was just pure food porn. So one of my goals within this prep is to deal with that better and to not be food obsessed. I think when it comes to hunger, it's a good thing, you know, like just like you should with any emotion, in my opinion. Sit with it, be present with it, accept it, but just don't let it control you. You know, whatever that is, you know, whether you're, you know, really depressed and really down, you know, that's okay. People feel these things. It's okay to feel those things. Be present with it, just don't let it control your actions and your decisions. Even on the flip side of that, if you're like super happy and ecstatic about things, great, sit with it, but don't let it make you complacent about things. I think hunger in a prep is very indicative of that. I don't think it's something you should try and combat or fight or avoid, especially with the big topic of Retta, which I know has more benefits than just appetite suppression. I will not be using it because I'm not a bitch. But yeah, when it comes to hunger, I think just accept it, know that it's a good thing. It shows that, you know, your body is working. Just don't let it let you put your hand in the cupboard when you shouldn't be doing so. But more so on the food noise side of things rather than hunger, just reduce it, or even just be grown up with it. Like, if you want to look at food porn, watch food videos on YouTube, fine, you can look at it and go, oh, that looks cool. All right, fine. As long as the food noise goes away when you turn off that video or scroll past that post. So yeah, I think I've answered that question. Another food one. Favorite meal as of current? My pre-workout meal is pretty fucking banging. It's cream of rice. Of course it's cream of rice. It's always cream of rice. Bodybuilders love cream of rice. I actually I don't like cream of rice in my off season. When food is high, I think it's just a texture thing, not necessarily a flavor thing. I still like sweet things, but because it is a little bit textureless, right, I struggle with it in off season. But now I'm in prep, even though my food is still quite high, I'm still eating around about 4k calories. I'm very hungry and I fucking love it. It's 100 grams cream of rice, 30 grams of Rice Krispies on top, 100 grams of fruit, 15 grams of dark chocolate, and 50 grams of whey made into a paste over the top, right? It's fucking banging. Okay, next question. Main lessons learned from last prep to this one. That's a good question. Main lessons. I think kind of similar to the answer I gave about hunger. I tried to sort of dull the feelings of hunger and dull the feelings of low energy, and maybe even like dull the anxious and exciting feelings of last prep. I tried to be a bit of an emotional robot. I think being a physical robot in prep, you know, having a perfect routine, doing everything the same every day, I think that's great. But I think my biggest thing is that this prep, I'm just not being an emotional robot. I'm allowing myself to be excited at times. I'm allowing myself to be anxious at times and worried, you know, worrying whether I'm big enough, whether I'm good enough. Allow myself to be hungry. Allow myself, you know, when the time comes, to be exhausted and, you know, upset at times. Just being more present with the whole experience of it and accepting it for part of the process. You know, we accept the process when it comes to off season, but I think it's seen a lot more rarely for people to fully accept the process of a prep. And that what I say is the biggest lesson I've learned from last prep to this one so far, is to just be present with the entire process from start to finish. I think that's answered that one. What's the last 3 podcasts you've listened to? Okay, podcasts. I'm going to have to check this one.
A few moments later.
Okay, I've checked it now. Last 3 podcasts that I've listened to is the Board Shorts and Banter podcast episode that came out today. Long-time listener. The 7-time Mr. Olympia winner Phil Heath talks past and bodybuilding from the Mind Pump show, which is actually the first podcast of theirs I've listened to. And Dan Snow's History Hit. Dan Snow explains America's failed invasion of Canada. I've actually been really getting into my history podcasts. I find them quite nice to just have a bit of a shut off from bodybuilding, a bit of an escape from bodybuilding. You know, I bodybuild 24/7. My career, my competitive career, my coaching career, all of it is based around bodybuilding. I listen to bodybuilding. I watch bodybuilding. It's nice to sometimes have a bit of escape. And I've been listening to history podcasts. And I know it makes me seem super old, but I like them. All right, next one. Has there been any mindset shift that you've noticed coming off the last two shows? I think this kind of goes back to the lessons learned from last prep to this one. The mindset shift is just to be more accepting of what I'm feeling, more just present in the whole process, the whole experience, and just being a little bit more chill about it. Like, even just accepting sometimes that I'm gonna have moments where I see someone I know I'm competing against post and they look fucking sick, and I'm gonna have moments where I'm going, shit, am I good enough? Should I even be doing this? And just being chill and accepting that I'm gonna have times where I feel like that. I'm gonna have times where I feel fucking hungry, and just accepting that it's part of the process. So the biggest mindset shift with all of it is just being more chill about the whole thing and just being less stressed. Because last prep, I was a fucking stress head. I'm sorry, Ross. I know you're probably not watching this, but if you are, I apologize. I was a fucking stress case last prep. Okay. Has there been any mad spending sprees this prep? I bought a pool table. Not really a spending spree. It was one thing. And that was in the first week of prep, so I can't really say that it's an impulsive prep purchase. But I figured I like pool. I was shit at it. I'm all right at it now. I like it, and I figured it was a more productive use of my spare time in prep to try and get better at something that's pretty cool, rather than just sit watching TV or playing on the PlayStation or whatever. And I have to say, within the 6-7 weeks I've already been on prep, I got a lot better. I'm not Ronnie O'Sullivan, but I'm better. So that's the only real big spending I've done so far this prep. But I'm sure there will be some kind of spending spree at some point within the coming weeks. Are you a gamer? If so, what's your game of choice? Ooh, game of choice. The Last of Us. Specifically Part 2. I know it was hated on, but I think the people who hate on it are small, narrow-minded individuals, right? Last of Us Part 2 was a fucking masterpiece. It wasn't the story that people wanted, but it was the story that they needed. Batman shit.
Because it's the hero Gotham deserves, but not the one it needs right now.
Right? Dark Knight shit. Last of Us Part 2 was perfect. Everything happened exactly as it needed to. People just didn't like the story, and maybe it is the writer's job to give the fans what they want, but I think they gave them what they need. And I've got Last of Us tattoo here, so that would be my game of choice. I'm not much of a gamer anymore. I don't play on my PlayStation all too often. I still have a PlayStation 4. I need to get a new one for when GTA 6 comes out. Obviously can't miss out on that. I used to play a lot, and it was mostly like single player RPG games. I was never super competitive about gaming. I never really played online with anything. If I play COD, I still play against recruit bots, right? I'm fucking shit. But I like my single player RPGs. Last of Us, Red Dead Redemption 2, Horizon games, Assassin's Creed games. They're my fucking jam, right? They're the best things. I love the Assassin's Creed games. Haven't played the newest one because I heard it was shit, but I'm looking forward to Black Flag Resync. That's my fucking, like, I bashed that game in lockdown so much. I came to it a little bit late. I know it's from like 2013 or whatever, but I bashed it in lockdown. I fucking loved it. I can't wait to play that shit again. So I'm not much of a gamer anymore, but I used to be. And if I had to pick my favorite game, either Red Dead Redemption 2 or Last of Us Part 2. Okay. Do you find prep more challenging mentally or physically? I would say mentally. I don't think prep really, for the most part, is too difficult physically. Those last couple of weeks where you're brutally exhausted, and the most tedious of tasks, like putting your socks on, right? Something so simple and so easy just becomes such a monumental task because you're so exhausted. Like, that is physically hard. But for the most part, training, even if you train hard, I wouldn't say it's hard because we all fucking love it. Cardio, unless you're doing HIIT cardio, which most of us bodybuilders aren't, cardio is not hard. It's just boring or annoying. It's not hard. I don't think dieting really is too hard. I think there's much harder things in the world, and you're choosing to do it. So there's that. So apart from the final few weeks, I wouldn't say physically, actually, it's that hard. It's just the mental battle. I've done 20 minutes on this Stairmaster. I still got another 20 minutes to go, but it feels like I've already done an hour. I really want to get off. I fucking hate this. Right, that mental battle to just stay on there. The mental battle to get up and do your cardio and your posing rounds, your abs, your mobility, whatever, when you're exhausted. The mental battle to, fucking hell, even just eat your meals slowly sometimes. Like, I think prep is definitely more mentally challenging. And then you get the whole actual competitive side of it, especially the high level amateur or the pro level, where some of the people you're competing against, you friends with some of them, even you see what they're posting, and that's a mental challenge to not let that get to you too much. I've touched on that a couple times, but yeah, prep's definitely more mentally challenging than physically challenging. What's the best advice that you wish someone told you going into a show? Now, I'll try and think of something that's not really generic here. Best advice that you wish someone told you going into a show. It's not that deep. It's just bodybuilding. It's just guys and gals flexing in basically their underwear. It's not that deep. Don't get super stressed over it. Try and enjoy it. I'll flip it slightly and say the advice that I give to my clients, particularly my first timer clients, is to nail everything and practice everything, particularly your posing and presentation, so much ahead of time, so that when you get to stage, you're not up there concentrating and focusing, and you're able to be up there and actually be present and smile and enjoy the time and remember the time. Like, you get such little time on stage, all right? And as an amateur bodybuilder, you're paying to compete at these shows. You're working hard for all these months, and then your time on stage is over in a flash. The amount of people you ask them, how was your show day experience? And they go, it was all a blur. I can't really remember it. That fucking sucks, man. So I would say the best advice that I could give to someone going into a show is make sure that ahead of time you have nailed your posing and presentation, so that when you get there, you can just be present and enjoy the moment and, remember it. So practice your posing. And I think this is the last one. Hardest thing about prep. Hardest thing about prep. For me, I don't particularly find the process of it that difficult at all. Like, I've lived this lifestyle for 10 years nearly. Like, I say this to people when they ask, is I've never come home and looked in the cupboards and thought, well, what am I going to have for tea? I've never ever done that. I've never experienced that feeling. I've always had, since about 13, 14, I've been tracking my macros. I've been on a meal plan. I've known what I was going to eat, what I was going to train ahead of time. I've known how my day was going to plan out. Like, the bodybuilding lifestyle is the easiest thing in the world for me because it's just so second nature. I've never experienced any other lifestyle. Like, so I'm not missing out on anything because I've never felt anything, you know. So I wouldn't say the process of prep is that hard. I would say the hardest thing is in those final weeks, that super low energy where every little physical task is hard. Like I said before, putting your socks on is so hard, tying your laces. So there's a reason people start to wear Crocs and sliders when they're a few weeks out. You know, you drop something, you have to bend down to pick it up. Putting your plates on and taking them off the machines just seems doubly hard and sometimes harder than the exercise itself. The brutal low energy is the hardest thing about prep for me. All right, that's it. That's all the questions. I hope you enjoyed watching or listening to this. If you made it this far, let's do this. If you made it this far and actually made it to the end of the video, comment a bat. Put a bat in the comments, a bat emoji, because you know I love Batman. Put a bat emoji in the comments if you made it this far. Subscribe if you want. I don't even know if I'm going to keep making YouTube videos, but we'll see. Thanks for watching.